Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be taking you through on how to create a spatial width matrix from Shapefile on GeoDa. GeoDa is a free and open source software that has been introduced by Dr. Anselm and his team to help facilitate how we analyze data and explore and model spatial patterns. So if you are used to or you are involved in spatial analysis or spatial econometrics, of course, you would have been used to the term spatial matrices. So how do you create spatial matrix? So let's get on to it. There are different ways you could create spatial matrix. You could create it from a CSV file. I'm going to walk through that later. You could also create it from a shapefile. It's quite easier to kind of create it from a shapefile. And there are different forms of spatial matrices. I'm not going into that now. If you really want to know more about spatial matrix, you can consult excellent books and papers that have been written by Dr. Anselm on this topic. But to create a spatial matrix from shapefiles on GeoDa. If you open your GeoDa, you should have something like this. If you download your GeoDa from this website and then you open it, you have this bar here. And then you come to open, you tell GeoDa that you want to open, and then you have you can download, if you have a shapefile on your computer, you can go and pick it up, and depending if it's a shapefile, it should be this, and then you are able to pick it up from wherever your shapefile is. But for now, I want to use shapefiles that are already installed in GeoDa as sample data. So let me use the US homicides, that's the US homicides data by county. So you click on that, GeoDa loads it, and then I have this. Yes, so there you go, and you could highlight, each point in this GeoDa. So I want to create shapefiles so that, a spatial matrix to kind of show how each counties, the kind of demonstrate or bring out the matrix to show how the effect of each county depends on its neighbors. So how to do that is I come back here. Once I have my shapefile ready, I go to either tools, web manager, or you just go to web manager. So when I go to web manager, it gives me this. Okay. Yeah, so I told you that I want to create a weight matrix, and in this shapefile there are some variables. I select the poly ID. The poly ID is the variable that identifies each county by ID in the shapefile. So it's always there. So I select that. Now there are different ways you could create a spatial weight. You could decide to use contiguity basis or distance basis. Contiguity basis is just talking about looking at those that share borders with you. So any county that shares border with a particular county is influencing that county, so it will be considered as part of the spatial weight. And those that do not share county will not be considered. So we could have the queen contiguity, which is the most popular in terms of contiguity basis, but you could also have the rook, maybe for just carrying some robustness. Then so let's under the queen contiguity, you can also choose the order. Either you want order 1 or order 2. Order 2 could just simply be neighbors of neighbors, so not just those that neighbor you, but those that neighbor you. That could be order 2. But for now, let's keep it simple. Let's look at order 1, and feel free to play around this. You could also set the threshold. You could also set the threshold, to kind of tell you how much allowance you want to give in case you have an island or a county that doesn't have a label. But let's remove that for now. So we have all this. This is just simple. So you choose this, and then you create, and then tells you to save it somewhere, and then you save it, and then and that's so let's go to download. Yeah, it's created successfully. Wait file, yes, it will now created successfully. Now let's see what it looks like. Let's look at our shapefile that was created. So yeah, and this is it. Yeah, so you see, let's remove this. So you see, you have the US county now. It tells you that it's queen and it's symmetrical. The ID identifying variable is the poly ID, the other is one, number of observation in terms of number of counties, the minimum number of neighbors, one, that means the minimum number of neighbors the minimum that it means that the smallest number of neighbors to a county is one, and then the other counties, the maximum number of neighbors to a particular county is 14. So it means we're going to look at that and look at the mean number of neighbors. So these are all different ways to kind of look at the consider the spatial matrix you've created. You could look at the histogram and see the spread. You could see this is the fine histogram here. You could see that more than 1,000 counties have 6 neighbors, so that's the maximum. And then you could see just 14 neighbors, just about one county. It has 14 neighbors, and then about also that maybe 1 or 2 or 10 counties has one neighbor. Then you could see the fine normal distribution, which tells us that this is a good spatial matrix as you could see the normal distribution. Going forward also, you could also want to check the connectivity map to see. So you have a connectivity map like this. Any county you touch tells you the counties that are counted as neighbors. So that's all the counties that share boundaries with it, because we just did it other one. And then you could just play around with it and see. Yeah. And then also you could also look at the connectivity graph to just have a feel of how the connectivity links, how each county links, and you could see that it just tells you that what affects one county affects another county in terms of the link in creating the spatial matrix, and that's it. So that's about creating spatial matrix using Queen contiguity. But like you could also decide to use distance, weight, and in this case you choose the x coordinate, which is the x mean centered. You could choose you could decide to choose in this space, because this is a shapefile, the x coordinates will be selected naturally because GeoDa will naturally know what the long and the latitude and the longitude is. So you could just choose Queen matrix and the distance and matrix. You could decide to use the Euclidean distance, but I choose to use the arc distance. Kilometer. And here are the different methods of distance you could use. You could decide to say, okay, any county that is more than within 146 kilometer of a particular county are considered as neighbors. Then other counties further than 146 kilometers are not considered as neighbors. So that's distance. And of course, you could raise it to the power of 2 in terms of the inverse distance. You could also use the key nearest neighbor for saying that the closest 4 neighbors to you based on the distance are your neighbors. So this means that all the counties are going to have the same number of neighbors, 4, but the 4 closest counties to them will be their neighbors. You could decide to also go for some kernel kind of modeling in terms of getting the spatial matrix. But let's just keep it simple. Feel free to play around these. So if we choose the distance matrix, for example, and then you create you could just let's use this distance, and then it says created. Let's see now. So we come in. So here you go. So you see this talking about threshold matrix, because it says all the counties within a particular threshold are considered as neighbors and symmetrical in terms of the spread, and it is the threshold value. You could also play around and see what the histogram looks like. There you go. You could pick up a concatenacy which switch. You could also play around with the map. See, here you go. So yeah, so you have all these, tells you. And that's it about creating spatial weight matrix in GeoDa from Shapefile. I believe you've been able to learn something from this presentation. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel to get more updates on data analysis using statistical software. Thank you. See you later.